This is Ian Miller,
What's going on, guys? It's Andrew.
and welcome to another exciting episode of Media Talk with Miller and Smith.
A very special episode.
Yes, a very special episode. Tonight, we're actually going to discuss this past week's Disney Expo 2022. Major stuff happened during these 3 days. A lot of projects are announced. A lot of different things, big things are coming up. So let's get into it. Before we get to some of the projects that we're interested in particular, let's go over a little bit of what's happening in the Disney movie slot and the Disney projects. So, let's go over what was announced and what our expectations are. Smith, why'd you start first?
Yeah, so a couple of things that have been announced for Disney was there is going to be a prequel to Lion King. But there is unfortunate news that James Earl Jones will not be returning for that, that movie, which is disappointing because he is Mufasa. But I don't know. I mean, it's kind of going to be hard to witness that movie without having the voice of James Earl Jones voicing Mufasa. I mean, it's
It's iconic.
Yeah, because he is Mufasa, kind of because he's like Darth Vader. You can't really replace that voice, but I guess because it's a prequel. I mean, they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. And then also that was announced, which hopefully a lot of you fans were I should say a lot of you people out there were hopefully fans of this franchise, which was obviously the Tim Allen Santa Claus movies.
Yes.
He will be back as Scott Calvin / Santa Claus in the Disney movie Santa Clauses.
It's actually a series.
Yeah. So that one I actually found a little bit surprising when they first announced that he was coming back. In this show now, I don't know if the fans out there, I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for it yet, but in this show he's actually retiring from being Santa Claus, and he's looking for his replacement. So that one's going to be a little bit interesting to see how that all unfolds.
Yeah, and also you have to think about what's going to happen with Scott and his wife, and obviously his new kids, especially how that's going to play into the series. Because my thought is they're probably not going to want to stay in the North Pole after the new Santa is announced. And
no, of course, absolutely not.
Yeah, and let's actually ask this question not just to each other, but also to our subscribers. Can you see anyone else besides Tim Allen as Santa Claus in the series?
No.
Yeah.
No, I can't say I can't.
Yeah, I can't either. Especially if they're trying to get Peyton Manning. Really? I don't know. I don't know.
I think that was just to get a laugh out of the
Oh
fans.
no, yeah. But we have an interesting surprise in the series because the character Bernard is returned.
Yes, we haven't seen him since the second movie, which it's going to be exciting. And they also announced that his son Charlie will be making an appearance in the show.
Yes, but I don't believe this is the same actor though.
I believe it is. When I saw the news, I thought I saw Eric Lloyd was coming back.
Oh. Well, I guess I didn't miss it. I missed that part. Sorry, folks. If it turns out to be true, my bad. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting how that all unfolds. Personally, I love the franchise. The first and second movies were great. The third was, third one was good.
The third one had its moments.
Yeah, third one definitely had its moments, but if all of you fans out there liked all three movies, that's great. That's awesome. I'm a fan of Tim Allen and all his Santa Claus movies, so
Yeah,
I'm very excited on that one.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
also crazy that he just went off a mega hit series, Last Man Standing, to go into this.
yeah,
Because we weren't expecting him to actually return to this character, you know?
yeah. No, I'm very excited he's coming back. I mean, like I said, that was obviously a surprise. But I mean, you could tell a little bit from the trailer that he looked a little bit older, or that he did some of his makeup. I mean, I'm not exactly sure, but it just looked a little bit different.
Well, you have to also remember Tim is, I think, close to late 50s, early 60s now,
Yeah.
maybe mid 60s. I don't know, but I have to tell you, he still sounds like himself,
Hmm.
which fans are still upset that he wasn't in the Lightyear movie. But again,
Right.
that's a different story. Different
Right.
story. But what's interesting is the other projects that were announced, because some of these projects, have been floating, on the table for a number of years now, and I'm of course referring to the live action adaptations of some of Disney's animated movies. Let's go into those for a second.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to start us off on that?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with for the first one is no surprise, Snow White.
Yeah. Snow White. You know, I've watched Snow White. You know, long time ago. Um, it's obviously one of the most popular Disney movies out there.
Yeah,
Um, to see that they're now making into a live action, movie, kind of interesting. You know.
yeah, it's
um,
definitely an interesting choice. I know Disney has been, remaking, a lot of their animated movies. Most recently, Pinocchio was released, and that was released to somewhat mixed reviews.
yeah,
So now we're wondering if Snow White's going to fall into the same, pit as that has.
yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is that I don't really go on the reviews until I see the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really listen to the reviews or anything like that until I get my own opinion of the movie. But most of these Disney movies, like these remakes, have actually done pretty well. Um, you have there was a popular one that there was Jungle Book that did really well.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely.
Um, and obviously the live action Lion King did really well in the
Yeah,
box office.
both directed
Um,
by John Favreau.
yes, great director who directed the first Iron Man.
Actually, the
Um,
first two Iron Man movies.
first two Iron Man movies, that's right. Um, yeah, I mean, you never really know how these Disney movies, well, live action movies will turn out. But I'm very interested to see what with all you fans out there, what all the reviews will be or what fans think of the movie. But the one that caught my eye was that Gal Gadot is actually playing the evil queen in the movie.
Yes, yes. She's actually, taking some time off from her role as Wonder Woman and playing the evil queen. I think she's going to be interesting playing, the villain this time around.
Yeah, no, that's actually I don't know how to describe it because we've always seen her as the good person, never really played that baddie, you
Yeah,
know. Um, because obviously there was Wonder Woman and then the Fast and Furious franchise. Um, but no, I think it'll be interesting to see how she will perform in that movie as a baddie. So I'm kind of looking forward to that one.
yeah. Another one that was announced that was have been flowing on for a while is the Peter Pan and Wendy story. Now, of course, we have seen the classic 1950s Disney movie, as
Hmm.
well as some of the live action remakes, not
Hmm.
Disney affiliated. One of my personal favorite live action versions of the story is obviously Steven Spielberg's Hook with Robert Williams and Dustin Hoffman. So I'm very interested to
Yes.
see, this particular, version of Peter and Wendy. But what's going to be interesting is this: are they going to make it the same thing as the original Disney animated movie, or are they going to do it slightly different, slightly more towards the original book?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would personally think that they should probably do it more towards the book, because you don't want to keep doing the same thing,
Yeah,
over and over again. Um, so I mean, if it was me, I would do it towards the book. I mean,
yeah,
give fans a different perspective on what they've already seen before.
yeah, yeah. Take them on a jury where they think they've been on, but then suddenly turn it on their heads and say, "Wait a second, this is completely different." And like maybe I should go back and reread the book to see if this actually
Yeah.
matches.
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, um, uh, we'll see what Jude Law, has to offer as Captain Hook. So that
Yeah,
should be interesting.
yeah, that's an interesting casting. He's a good actor. He's really he does play the bad guy very well, but we've seen him play other roles. So this is going to be very interesting to see him step into this role.
Yeah, I don't believe they casted a Peter Pan yet, right?
Well, I can imagine they haven't done it yet because that's a pretty
Yeah,
damn hard role to fill.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that you got to get the right person to play it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So that should be interesting. Next on the Disney one that we have, a lot of you may have seen the movie a long time ago, maybe you have not. But now they are making a remake of The Haunted Mansion. Um, as a lot of you, I don't know if any of you've seen the movie with Eddie Murphy. Um, I thought that movie was, I thought that movie was good. I mean, again, it had his moments, but I thought it was entertaining, to say the least. But
Yeah, I would say that's appropriate. And this is, I think, one of the second attempt of turning a
mhm,
Disneyland attraction into a movie. The first,
right,
the obvious successful one was obviously Pirates of the Caribbean. The third not so successful one was Tomorrowland.
right, yes, right. Um, then yeah, this one's gonna star. Uh, well, this one's gonna star Jamie Lee Curtis in the movie as Madame Leota. So
Oh, that's a very good casting choice.
yeah, yeah, right. I mean, I think it'll. I think she should be good given she's played in all these Halloween movies and stuff. So we'll
Yeah,
see if that fares out there.
yeah. Oh, also, when Halloween Ends actually comes out in the theaters, we're actually gonna give our review and a reaction to that. So keep an eye for that.
Yeah, that premieres in that. I'm sure that I think that releases in exactly a month. I should say now.
Yeah,
I think October 14th. So
yeah,
we'll get you all the reviews on that, what we think about it. So yeah, just keep your eyes open on that.
yeah.
Um, and then there is a couple more here that there's actually one that is actually coming out based on, it's a sequel to the last movie, which was Hocus Pocus 2.
Ah, yes.
Ian, if you want to kind of elaborate on that one a little bit.
Okay. Hocus Pocus 2 is a sequel to the 1993's classic movie, Hocus Pocus, starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy, I can never pronounce this woman's last name, I apologize. And they return as the Sanderson sisters because someone lit the black candle.
Hmm.
You never light the black candle in that town. I have to say, when I saw the teaser trailer and now the theatrical trailer of this movie during this expo, it takes you back to the '90s, because all three actresses pretty much look the same, when they're in full costume and makeup. So I think, for fans of that particular movie, I think we're in for a good ride. There was actually a book that was the official sequel to the first film. I'm not sure if they incorporated elements of the book into the movie, but it'll be very interesting to see, people's reactions who have read the book
Hmm.
and watch this particular sequel.
Right.
So it's gonna be
Right.
fun.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean that I haven't watched that movie in a while, so I might have to watch it again just to, see what happens, see what happened, and then maybe watch the Disney Plus series. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so we actually should have actually brought this one up when we talked about Snow White, um, which is another Disney movie, popular Disney movie, I should say, which is The Little Mermaid.
Ah, yes, we saw our first teaser trailer of that.
Yes, yes, that actually stars Halle Bailey playing Ariel, singing "Part of Your World." So that should be pretty interesting to see how they do that movie with live action. I believe there was a Little Mermaid live. Um, I don't think I ever really saw it. I saw bits and pieces of it,
Mhm.
but yeah, but I really want to see how this movie doesn't actually as a real live action movie.
Yeah, I think Little Mermaid Live was actually based off of the Broadway show that
Mhm.
been been on Broadway for a number of years, which ended like in the early 2000s. But yeah, I'm very curious to see where this movie goes and how faithful it remains to the other film, the animated film. Interesting cast though, not just Haley, but also Melissa McCarthy
Yes,
probably as Ursula. So that's
yes.
kind of like perfect casting right there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I can actually see her playing, Ursula. So that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, that's I'm very interested to see where that goes. I think she's perfect for that role, and she's just such a funny woman, very funny woman. I will say for fans, they are going to keep some of the original songs in this
Mhm.
particular production, but
Yeah.
they are writing new ones in there as well. So I know many of you were a little bit disappointed with some of the new songs in some of the other productions. You
Mhm.
know, maybe didn't have a problem with the Beauty and Beast songs in there,
Mhm. Yep.
but still, it should be good fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then I believe there is one more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. There was one more Disney one which we talked about a little bit um in the last episode or the first episode, I believe, which is the National Treasure series.
Oh yes, we saw the official trailer for that.
Yes. Yeah, it's a spin-off, obviously, of the movie. Um, the first trailer actually looks pretty good.
Mm,
You got your first look at Riley coming back, and then the police detective, I believe,
yeah,
in that movie, in that series, I should say. It looks like though in the trailer you saw a little bit, you know, more of the police detective, kind of having a different role.
yeah. He's definitely not quite the FBI type of character that he was in the previous two films.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what his role is here. But I'm getting some ideas that maybe this particular series might lead into a third film production, which has been, in pretty much in development hell for a while now.
Yeah, I believe last. No, I think we discussed this also last. We heard that they were sending the script to Nicolas Cage, so we'll see. Hopefully that he likes it and it starts up pretty soon.
Yeah.
Um,
Quickly, I'll announce two sequels. That has a lot of fans, excited. There's of course the sequel to Enchanted, which is called Disenchanted, and
mhm.
Amy Adams is back as Giselle.
Yes. Yep, I saw that. So for you guys out there, probably most of you are excited. So you'll see how that unfolds.
Yeah, I would like this woman to win an Oscar at some point. I mean, seriously, don't you think
I,
she's owed one at this point? She's so
she's been an
talented.
actor for so many. She's been an actor. Yeah, I mean, she's been an actress for so many years. I mean, just like once, just have her win one.
Yeah,
Just come on.
she's so talented, so talented. And of course, last but not least, from Pixar, this is another big one. Inside Out 2. which had Amy Poehler in as one of the characters. We weren't sure we were going to get a sequel to this film, but there's
Yes.
been a strong fan base out there, and Pixar has been known to, really delivering like great sequels to already great movies. So I'm sure this is going to be a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And then there was one more from Disney, that was just one last thing on this, that they actually released was, Percy Jackson and the Olympians.
Ah, yes.
So that's that's going to be an 8 episode series of the novel. So if you guys are fans of the novel and everything like that, you should probably be enjoying this series when it comes out.
Absolutely. And I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be a little bit more faithful adaptation to the book. Uh, but again, you never know because, again, filmmakers, as they will, they'll change a few things. But hopefully, they won't take the spine out of the story. Another interesting series that's coming out is Willow.
Right. Yep. That's from Lucasfilm.
Yeah, this is the sequel series to the 1988 film from MGM and also Lucasfilm, directed by Ron Howard.
Yep.
So I'm excited about this series since it was announced. I've been a fan of the film for a number of years, so that's gonna be very exciting to see. Some of the old characters and some of the new characters. So that's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. So Ian, now I think you should be looking forward to this one that I'm going to announce, since we're both big fans of this, which has been now in production for a while. Indiana Jones 5.
Yes. Now this was one of the big announcements at the expo, and it was also one of the most rewarding because audiences were actually delighted to see Harrison Ford, on stage along with the director and another cast member to reveal a teaser trailer. Unfortunately, we did not see the trailer, so we can only speculate what that
Oh,
would have looked like.
yeah.
But we
No,
were,
no, go
yeah,
ahead, go.
but we were able to see some of the costumes, and in particular, Indy's costume, which has, quite frankly, a lot of wear and tear because he's been wearing it for a number of years, especially down to the leather jacket. You can definitely see wear and tear in there, but it just goes to show you it's a much loved jacket, a much loved comic costume. It's iconic.
Can't replace the iconic costume. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we got all that. So now we'll go into a little bit of what they announced for the Star Wars series.
Yes.
So yes, so there was a there was a little bit on that they released. First they have um Andor, which is a new Star Wars series,
Yes.
which is a prequel to the Rogue One series, Rogue One movie, I should say. Um, so yeah, Diego Luna, he comes back to play Andor. So that should actually be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to that. And it's taking place actually 5 years before the movie, I believe. So
Which is very exciting, because I think Rogue One is definitely up there with a lot of the great Star Wars films. And it was a very well told story, especially he was very well developed character. I'm very curious to see what his background's going to be, and also just more excited to see more Star Wars content. I mean, come on.
we got we got we needed all this content. We need more origin stories, and not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Jedi. I mean, all these movies and stuff, but we need to get a little bit more non-Jedi stuff. You know,
Yes. And can we please get a movie that's set during the events of Empire Strikes Back? Is that possible? Come on, Disney, help us out here. Help, help me, help you.
yeah. I mean, we definitely need to see a movie like that just to see what took place in the between that.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of the Jedi, you do have a series coming out with Rosario Dawson, which is Ahsoka.
Hmm.
She's playing Ahsoka Tano in that show. So that's going to be really interesting. You saw her last in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So so I think that series will be pretty awesome. With, which is actually exciting, we'll have Hayden Christensen coming back to that show. So
Yes.
as Darth Vader. So that should be pretty interesting as well.
Yes. I want to say it was quite a delight to see him in Obi-Wan Kenobi, even in the Vader suit. You get chills. You get chills.
Oh, I had chills when they did when they did that flashback with them fighting, when you actually saw him,
Yeah.
when that with him being the Padawan. So that was that got me chills and goosebumps. So that should be that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. We also have the third season of The Mandalorian.
Yep.
That was Yeah. So that's very exciting. I believe we also saw a trailer for that.
Yes, we did. You got a trailer of it. You saw Grogu coming back, um, which is pretty interesting, which is fun. But you kind of saw in the trailer a little bit that things aren't going that well right now.
No.
Mandalorian after what happened. So you have a lot of the stuff of where he goes now from here. You have a lot of them saying that he's not a Mandalorian anymore because he took off his helmet. So I'm very interested to see what's gonna happen now in his journey.
Yeah. I think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be unexpected because the show has had plenty of twists and turns. So I'm very curious to see where this goes and just excited. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now I think we could touch a little bit on the Marvel stuff. There have been a lot of
Yes,
Marvel projects coming out.
yes, there has. Um, yeah, so we did get a little news of what was going on with some Marvel stuff. You did have, we didn't get another trailer of it, but there's some stuff going on with Black Panther, the next movie. You have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Yeah.
Good, good name by the way.
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
you have Scott coming back, and Paul Rudd and his daughter and everything like that. So that should be fun. Which I believe now that Kang is going to be the bad guy in this movie. So
Damn you,
that
Sylvie, for killing Kang in Loki's season 1. She really effed things up in a big way.
damn you. um so you have, and then they announced that they have a new writer for Fantastic Four, which is the screenwriter for the director, I'm sorry, I should say the director for WandaVision.
Yeah.
Matt Shackman. So that should be pretty interesting. He's going to direct Fantastic Four, which comes out I think in another 2 years. So
Yeah, because you definitely need a lot of preparation to obviously get this particular film right, especially with the previous director, John Waits, who is obviously well known, obviously, of the Spider-Man trilogy.
yeah,
Um, stepping, out of the director's chair. And hopefully it's going to be rewarding. And I hope the guy will actually get a good Fantastic Four film because we've been disappointed a couple times now.
yeah, we have. I mean, I know all of you out there would, all of you Marvel fans out there would love to see John Krasinski coming back as Reed Richards.
I don't see it happening, though. I don't see it happening.
I mean, he was pretty good in Doctor Strange.
I enjoyed him. I thought he was a perfect casting, but I'm like, it's not gonna happen. But again, You never know. I can be surprised.
Come on, Ian. We gotta remain optimistic here.
I know, but it's so hard, man. It's so hard.
So keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully he comes back. If not, we'll hopefully they cast a really good Reed Richards.
We'll deal with it.
So
We'll deal with it.
yeah,
Another announcement for some of Marvel's Disney Plus series. One which I've been looking forward to, and so have you, has been Daredevil Born Again. Now, I'm told right now by Charlie Cox, that it's not a direct season 4 from the previous series that was on Netflix originally. This is actually a soft reboot, which I guess it kind of makes sense, because this is the first time you're actually having, Matt Murdock, be part of this big universe. So it would make sense.
yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. Fan of the series. It was really good. I mean, it makes sense. For it to be a reboot since it's coming into the MCU. So yeah, I think that totally makes sense. Glad that D'Onofrio is coming back.
Yeah, I just
So
want Karen and Foggy to come back. I just want
that's
those two to come back.
that's your next one.
Yeah.
Again, cross our fingers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if that TV show brings back all the hype that it had on Netflix. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Yeah, and then you had the spinoff to Hawkeye, which is Echo.
Yeah.
Which is going to be on Disney Plus. So that should be pretty interesting of what happens next with her.
Yeah, absolutely. She was an exciting character, in obviously Hawkeye. And, you couldn't take your eyes off of her. You didn't know what she was gonna do. So it seems only right that she gets her own spin-off series.
Yeah, no, definitely. That should be fun.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got a well, I mean, we didn't get full trailers of these yet, but we did get a little bit on Ironheart and Armor Wars, which I'm really looking forward to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got Don Cheadle coming back as Rhodey. So that should be awesome. 6-part series, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
Season 2 of Loki, which they announced will be coming back, as we discussed in earlier episodes. We're looking forward to seeing where Loki goes from here. So we won't touch on that too much.
Yeah.
But
What we will talk about is Secret Invasion with, of
yes.
course, Samuel Jackson returning as Nick Fury. We saw a trailer for that.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on it?
I thought it was fantastic. It's always exciting to see Samuel Jackson as back as Nick. He's especially with the eye patch. It's just But I gotta tell you, even though this is the Secret Invasion of the Skrulls, it really feels like a Nick Fury story. It really does. The same way that Captain America: Winter Soldier was pretty much a Nick Fury story.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we get to spend a bit more time with the character, and that's always exciting because you find out new things about him that you didn't know, and we'll probably get some answers to why he was in space for so long. What was he
Yeah.
really doing there?
Yeah. We never got a full answer to that. That was a little bit of shock when we saw
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
so that should be pretty interesting. And then yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. If you're gonna say something.
No, I was going to talk about the Thunderbolts. I thought we were going to talk about
Oh,
that.
go ahead.
Yeah, so we have obviously the Thunderbolts. which is pretty much a team of anti-heroes, which is consistent of former supervillains. So pretty much we have Marvel's version of Suicide Squad. And I have to ask, why is Bucky in the Thunderbolts? Why?
Why is um oh my god, now her name just draws a blank. Why is Yelena in Thunderbolts?
Yes.
I mean,
It,
from what we saw in Hawkeye at the end of it, it looked like she had no grudge or anything like that.
it makes no sense.
That's I get Taskmaster. I
Yeah.
get that. But I don't understand why Bucky or Yelena's in it. So hopefully they give us a little bit more clarification on that.
Yeah, another two people that we're also going to see aside from the Taskmaster is obviously Red Guardian. And we're seeing John Walker, U.S. Agent, and Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, which we haven't seen since obviously that film had concluded. So it's going to be interesting to see the announcements that are coming up. So a lot to look forward to. Yeah, so it's going to be one of those interesting things, to see, how these group of people are anti-heroes, again, like I said, Marvel's answer to Suicide Squad.
Yeah, no. Hopefully we'll get more clarification on that. Why Bucky and Yelena are villains, so hopefully you get more on that. And obviously it'll have Allegra. Was it Allegra? Oh, I'm sorry, Valentina.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Valentina. You'll have Valentina. I'm sure probably the head of it, right? Or
Yeah, which some of you fans have been longtime fans of Nick Fury. Remember that the Countess was actually a SHIELD agent in the original Nick Fury series,
mm-hmm.
who then
Yeah.
turned out to be part of Hydra. I don't know
Yep.
where this version of Val is, in this particular universe, but it's pretty clear that she's pretty much the Amanda Waller of Marvel at this point.
Yeah, I mean, not as terrifying as Amanda, but
Oh, that woman's crazy. Oh, we actually have a special guest with us tonight. He just came in. Please welcome to our show for the very first time, the other Andrew Feller. Oh, for God's sakes, don't tell me.
sorry about that, guys. There's a little technical difficulty there.
Don't know what's happening. It's probably on his end.
Yeah.
Just so you know that he does a lot of movie quotes, so please keep it on mind here, folks.
Yeah.
We've had to deal with him for years.
since high school. So
Yeah.
he does a lot of movie reviews. Check it out on Facebook. He does a lot of reviews. He does. What was the last movie he saw that had a lot of reviews on it?
I would say definitely Thor: Love and Thunder, but feller, turn the camera up.
Andrew, just tilt your camera up a little bit. There you go. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. So we were just talking about how you do a lot of reviews on Facebook for all the movies that you see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I also do TV shows too.
Yes.
Yes, you do. Andrew's actually a usher for some of the Broadway shows. If you want to talk about that for a minute.
Well, I haven't really seen anything new. I'm gonna be working full time at the salesman coming up this weekend, so that's gonna be good. but there's a lot of new shows coming up, a lot of new stuff. Samuel Jackson's gonna be in a new play.
Nice.
Very nice.
I'm trying to think of any big stars coming on. Yeah, you got Corey Hawkins from 24. He's gonna be in another play.
That's actually 24 Legacy fans. Not don't think
Yeah.
of don't
Okay.
get confused with the regular TV show.
Yeah,
No,
big
yo,
big
come on.
difference, folks. Big difference.
Yeah. The Samuel Jackson play is gonna be with Denzel's son, and
Hmm.
his wife actually directed it.
Oh, very
Oh
nice.
wow, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Andrew does a lot of cool stuff. So he does, like I said, a lot of reviews. So if you want to check it out, he does a lot of reviews on Facebook. So you might just want to go ahead and check that out. So before you came on, Andrew, we were talking. We were going over a lot of stuff on the Disney Expo
Yes. Yes.
that happened over the weekend. So if you want to talk about if you want to talk a little bit about like what stood out to you, and what your favorite, I should say, your favorite announcements was from the expo.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of. I watch a lot. I watch a lot of the trailers, and I like a lot of good stuff. I was very interested in all the Marvel announcements. Of course, that was great.
Mhm.
And the non-Marvel stuff, I love National Treasures, and it's great to see Tim Allen come back in the red suit, of course.
Mhm.
And then as far as the Disney stuff, I thought Little Mermaid looked very nice. But some of these Disney live action films, they don't really hold up to their end, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that earlier on in the show, that we don't look at the reviews per se of all of these movies, but we went over some of the stuff that, you had the Jungle Book, which did really well for Disney live action, and then you had the Lion King, which did really well in the box office too for Disney movies. So
Yeah,
you know, we can't really say that it won't do well until that actually comes out.
No, of course, we gotta see what the fans think, and Little Mermaid fans are gonna go, of course, because people that are fans of the cartoon usually go to
Yeah, exactly.
some of these movies.
Ian, anything you want to add in here?
Yeah, we also forgot Aladdin. We forgot this particular one. Obviously from directed by Guy Ritchie, and that was very well received.
Yeah, that was very well done.
Even though there was some changes obviously made in there, it was still well done.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, you had most of the songs in there. They added maybe like one or two new ones.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Will Smith did a great job playing the genie. I mean, obviously nobody can live up to Robin Williams
No.
playing the
But
So
he did a damn good job.
Yeah, he did. And then the guy who played Aladdin was pretty good. So
Yeah.
so that movie was pretty fun. I believe they're working on a sequel now. So we'll see how that fares in the future.
And no, feller, it's not Return of the Jedi. I'm sorry, Return of Jafar, not Return of the Jedi. I apologize. No, it's not Return of Jafar. Okay, it's not. They're not doing that as the sequel. I know you want that.
I know. Thank you, Ian.
You won't believe how many times he's brought this up to our attention, ladies and gentlemen. So many times he wanted to say, "Please, let's have the sequel," and this other sequel, but it didn't happen. It's not gonna
Oh,
happen.
I know. They gotta do their own thing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yes, you had that. And then what do you think of some of the oh, and we actually didn't bring up which we should have brought up. They announced the new Captain America movie, New World Order, sorry. Which is actually surprising now, is that you have Tim Blake Nelson actually coming back to play the leader.
Yeah.
As most of you fans know, if you saw the Edward Norton Hulk movie, he was in there, and then you saw a little bit at the end that his brain was getting a little big, so it should be interesting to see how he fares in that movie as the villain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about that because I was really hoping because I really liked the Incredible Hulk film, So I was, I really wanted the characters to come on in the future, and it's nice that Abomination from that movie is making appearances now.
Mhm.
The leader,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's
Yeah,
gonna be great.
yeah, absolutely. I think there was one more. There was actually a one on here that it's actually the first Halloween special was Werewolf by Night. I don't know if you've heard of that. I'm sure you've heard of that one, Ian.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure that was a comic, right?
It most certainly was. And this is actually gonna be a special that's actually directed by one of the Marvel music composers.
yeah. I was watching the trailer and it did look really interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad Marvel is getting a little bit more into the horror genre a bit. We saw a little bit of that obviously in Doctor Strange. In the recent sequel. Because it was directed by one of the great horror directors that there's ever been, Sam Raimi. So this
Yeah,
is just one step further. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So we'll come back to this in a minute. But I know one of the reasons that also Andrew wanted to come on was he wanted to talk a little bit about the Cobra Kai new season. So Andrew, without giving too much away, yeah, take it away.
Well, first of all, this season was the best yet. They really up their game. I'm not gonna give anything away, of course, but I will recap last season. Um, for those fans who watched it, Terry Silver from the villain from Karate Kid 3 is trying to, now that he won the All Valley tournament, he's making Cobra Kai all around the world now. So this season is pretty much about that, and also, um, well, this is not really a spoiler because it's in the plot of the new season. Now, now he learns about a tournament in Japan that's the greatest of all time. So he's trying to get Cobra Kai into that. And if he wins that tournament, Cobra Kai will be all over the world. So really it's about Daniel meeting up with his old friend trying to take him down. But this season was great. I'm excited about next season. Um, but I felt like this season was the best.
Yeah, yeah. Ian, you got any intake?
Well, you heard from him, folks. I have seen definitely managed to watch season 5. This past week, and I will agree it is one of the best seasons. And I have to say, a lot of character development, went from season 1 to now. So there's a lot of growth between the old characters and new characters. But I will ask this though: how long do you see the series going on?
I would say I will say maybe two or three, maybe two or at least one more. Because of course it's a great show and then we'll continue to do so. But going forward, they're kind of running out of tournaments to compete in. They already done the All Valley twice, and now they're gonna go to this worldwide tournament, um, which is gonna be interesting. But how many tournaments are you gonna compete here?
Yeah, I
This
mean that is true. I mean you can't have a tournament. I mean, and every season, I mean, it'll get a little much of having the same thing over and over again. So um, I get that as well. Now let me ask you this: do you think? out of all the characters that you've seen so far in the series, do you think that there is a potential for any spin-offs in the future for any of these new characters?
Well, they did talk about this couple of spin-offs. They did talk about that. I'm still waiting to see a few more characters come on. I'm hoping they come on next year, next season. A lot of characters they brought back, and that was great about the show because they really bring back the old characters and they make them in a different way. And I still need to see a few more characters, but I think we are gonna see spin-offs. I think we are gonna see prequels.
Okay. It's definitely possible, especially with some of the younger characters.
Yeah,
They can go on their own journeys, but it's definitely a wait and see thing. But I do agree with you. I think maybe 1 or 2 seasons should be left because you don't want to keep going when it's getting stale.
Also, you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah, you want to go out when you're on top. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it was a great movie franchise. This is obviously great. They did a great job with the show. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 seasons, or this season and the next season, and then we'll see what happens in the future for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for those fans out there who do watch this show, you're gonna be a little disappointed on the wait time because the creators of the show posted on Twitter actually that they're already working on a project right now, so they want to stick with that first, and then they're gonna write the next season. So it will be a while until we see season 6.
Yeah. Well,
Damn delays. Damn delays.
All these delays. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully it's not too much of a delay because you want to keep fans interested in the show. So you
of course.
You don't want to wait too long on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also going back to these kids, you don't want them to get older, because they're you don't want them to, like, of course they'll grow up and they will continue to do so, but you don't want to wait until like they're in college.
No, I get it.
No, yeah, absolutely. You don't want to wait too. You don't want to spend so much time on it. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens from here. Season 5 of Cobra Kai is now on Netflix. You can watch it there. Andrew, thanks for your time, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Well, that's going to be it for us at Media Talk with Miller and Smith. I'm, once again, Ian Miller.
I'm Andrew Smith.
I'm Andrew Feller.
Yeah, I'm just going to let that happen, all right? That just happened, all right? Have a good night, folks.
Take it easy.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe.